Hey, good morning, New York. How is everybody doing today? How's everybody doing? Shibby, good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York. Let's do this. Have a good day today. Good day today. All right. Just getting the link out there. All right, let's do this. Get some more people coming in, and then we'll go through the gold and the NQ. Yeah, doing good, Shibby. How are you doing? How's did you guys get some good stuff in London? I didn't get anything in Asia. Asia was not good. Yesterday I don't think was good at all for trading. Just for me. I didn't get anything in New York until about lunchtime, which I think you did too. Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, let's see. Will, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Excellent. Excellent. How's the trading going? Yeah, doing well. Doing really well. Trying to get over this. I get this cough. I get sick and then I get this cough for like months and it just will not go away. Not even sick anymore. Still coughing. Excellent. Yeah. Pez in the house. Somebody knocked you on your door? Nice. I hope it was somebody legal. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Pez. I'm kidding. Hopefully it was like a Uber or something like that, I assume. Welcome in. Good to see you, Pez. Welcome in. Just a standard bloke is in the house, everybody. And so is Nathan Thompson. Is in the house. Ready to lay down some trades. And make that money. Oh. I'm kidding around. Nice. Yeah. And Candace is here. A legal package. Excellent. Good. Good man. Good on you, Perry. Hopefully it was cigars. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, Shibby is here. Will is here. Nathan. Matthew's here. Everybody's here. It's good. Yeah. Let's look at our tickers. I don't typically take the first candle anyway, so it gives me a little bit of time to really absorb what's happened in the market. So let's kind of go through gold here. You can see all the trades that I took yesterday. There's the proof that I'm not a phony, right? Lewis, how you doing? Good to see you. Anticipating gold today. Yeah, let's see. Let's get after it. Let's see what we got. Let's see what gold has to present to us today. Lately, I don't know, gold has been a little, it's not been as good. I don't know about you guys, but NQ has kind of been the play for me lately. You know, I'm just waiting for the perfect setups. You know, I mean, it's never going to be 100%, right? But you're going to get as close as possible. So, yeah. Looking at the weekly on gold, I don't know where my lines went. It's weird. My support and resistance lines have disappeared on me. Sorry, we'll make new ones. I'm gonna actually put a line. Maybe I can steal one from another chart. Give me 1 sec here. Yeah, all my lines are gone. What the heck? So weird. All my support and resistance just deleted. Yeah. Puck, how you doing? Glad to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. Looks like your name's stuck. That's good. It actually worked, right? When you did your name change. That's good. So looking at gold, looks like we have this, 8-week green candle run is over now. And a bit of a pullback. Let me see if I can get a resistance line in here without breaking it. Like to do a high time frame resistance personally. That way I can and I got it saved in my template here. So that way I know without having to always go to the high time frame. That's right. It's like a wizard thing, right? You're late to the party. And a wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he means to, right? So I put a high time frame resistance in there so that I know, really where gold has been on the high time frames. I like to do the same thing for a support, just to give me an idea if we start getting close to those areas, what's going on the higher time frames. So I don't always have to check it, So I do that. And if you're a Star Wars fan, you know why this is here, right? All right. So it looks like a bit of a slowdown on that pullback, but we could be looking at just a quick dip, and then gold could continue this way, or it could continue this way. We're either gonna get like a thing here, or we're gonna have a slight pullback and then it's gonna rocket again. But it seems to be hovering around this 4,000 area. Seems to really like that area. Well, I look like a ghost. See if I can fix that real quick. Give me a sec here. Set my settings a little bit lower. Yeah. Whatever. I'm gonna be invisible for this one. So. Anyways. ADD moment. Going to the daily. Looks like we're kind of just we've been looking at gold every day, and it just seems to be hovering around this 4,000 mark, which is fine. Gold wants to hang out at 4,000 for a while. We always kind of thought it was a psychological level for a while, so maybe that's the case. Maybe it is. 1 hour, 4 hours not. It's funny how much it moved, and now it's just really kind of flat. Moved a lot. Look at all that. Now it's a bit flat. All right, 1 hour. Yeah, kind of the same story. Zoom in a little bit here. Yeah, bit of consolidation. Possible good resistance right here. Level right here. And maybe moving down. See the making lower highs. Lower highs, but the lower, there's not really lower lows. Maybe higher lows, maybe just a touch. Maybe just a tad. 30 minutes, same story. 15 minutes. So, I mean, look how it's just like gold is just like shrinking into this little tiny area. Hope you lads got your coffees. So traders run on coffee. If coffee didn't exist, trading would not exist. Am I wrong? All right, so zooming in on gold here. We'll get some my support and resistance lines back. Can do a little copy paste action here. And then quick save on the templates, and we're back in business. Boom. Look at that. Back in bed. That's right. That's good, Pez. No, that's good, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Even if you want to lay in bed and watch with one eye open, I've done that many times. We'll call it out for you. Don't you worry. If you want to get a trade, we'll call it out. Why make billions when you can make millions? Like they say, you want to make $1 million, start with 2 million. All right, we got a little bit of a level here. Let's check our ticks. So I like to do info line. And just do a little straight line. And then I have a template here for a ruler. So I know right off the bat we're looking at about 100 tick range down here. Not bad. And maybe even up here. So I think this is a good micro kind of level for gold. Couple of nice rejection wicks down here. And Mount Everest over here kind of peaked, and we're in the valley now. So we could get something in here above this resistance, and we could get something in here below this support. So that's what I'm looking for today. Save this so it doesn't delete. Yeah, and if you guys see anything else, feel free to call it out. Nathan, 30 and 15-minute type 2. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, we'll have to see here what it develops. Here's the 30. Yeah, good chance for type 2. Possibly. We'll see. See if it gets above this resistance level right here. We'll watch it. Yeah, it might be a bit overextended. That's about 100 ticks there. See that? It's about at least 98 ticks. I don't know why this is at 98. There you go. All right, let's check while this is doing its thing. Have a little look-see on NQ. Let me get some of my stuff back over here. I don't know why I just deleted everything. Maybe I had too many of them and it just said, we're just going to clear everything. Or maybe they saw that I'm on my Masters account. I'm actually making money on Masters, and they're like, you didn't pay for indicators, so we're taking them away. So I'm like, all right, guess I'll work for them then. My goal is to never blow funded. Is that naive? Maybe. But it's still my goal. I think I can do it because I set up my mindset, my psychology, to be the same while I was in eval. I set it up to say that I'm going to trade my eval account as if I'm funded. So that way when this turns from red to pink, nothing changes. It's literally just the color on the screen. It doesn't change anything in my psychology. Hi, Drain. How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see if I can fix this. See the lines going through my face here? I got to try and fix that. It's just a tweak on my settings. Let's finish NQ first, and then I'll do that. Because we're probably going to have plenty of time waiting for candles to actually wake up and do something. All right, let's change this here to support. All right, let's take a look. We'll go to the high time frame. Weekly candle on NQ. Looks like it's moving back down. Hit that high here. and it's coming back. We can put another level. Right. It's really tough to do a level when it does this. But we'll put something, I don't know, something like that for the high time frame. Same this time. That's just why I've been closing out trades when they hit my $300 to $500 profit instead of babysitting. Yeah, it's good, Nathan. Yeah, it's really good. And I'll show you guys, if we get a trade on screen, I'll show you how I set it up. Excuse me. A couple people have already seen how I set it up automatically, so that way it hits partials. It either hits partials on the positive side or the opposite side of a trade, and then it's automatic. So I know exactly how much I'm going to lose or exactly how much I'm going to win. And my job is just to take the right trade. Win or lose. Win, lose, or draw. That's my job. And we get paid for that. That's our job. We get paid for it. And I look at it, so I had a little bit of epiphany this morning when I was making my coffee. I was thinking, psychology-wise, when you start a new job, at least in the US, when you start a new job, you have to work for 2 weeks before you get paid. You don't get a paycheck. Sometimes even more. Sometimes you don't get a paycheck for 3 to 4 weeks. So you have to do all this work up front before a paycheck hits your bank account. This is really no different. I have these master accounts now. I've got to put, money in the account on top of it. I got to do the work ahead of time. And then I'll be able to hopefully take a payout within 2 weeks to 4 weeks. So that psychology is not really that different. It kind of gives me a way of looking at it. Daily on NQ, looks like we're coming back. We do have this jump here, this bit of a gap, so we'll see if I got a good feeling it's going to come through here. So I'm thinking bullish. Not bullish. Bearish on NQ, and it's already red, so I can kind of back that up. 4 hour could be leveling out here, could be weakening and leveling out. We do have this long wick here on this 4 hour, so it could be getting weaker, but then again now it's pushing down again, so who knows, could come through this area possibly. 1 hour, yep, that's where that is. It looked like it tried to get into this area here, but it didn't want to stay there. It failed. Came back up. 30. Yeah, it looks like we're in this little bit of an area here. So I think we got something to play with NQ. I'm thinking sells on NQ. If it gets below this 1 hour resistance, 1 hour support gets below this 1 hour support, we're in business. Look at this giant open area, fair value gap, whatever you want to call it, right? And even buying back up isn't bad, but I think it's overall bearish. What do you guys think? What is going on with this? No contracts. What? Here we go. That's crazy. You guys ever have this? You switch the chart, and then next thing you know, all your lines that you just set are in some weird spot. Come back down here like I set you originally. There we go. NQ's acting a bit odd. All right, we're ready. NQ and gold on the screen. Cool. Sweet. Let's catch up on chat here. Saw that in one of my videos? Yeah, I've been putting out a couple of videos like that just to kind of, maybe get it out there and make the algorithm happy and all that, right? Bears for sure. Yep, for sure, William. Is that gap likely to be filled? It's possible. Hang on, let me mute the microphone so I can cough. What I've noticed with NQ a lot of times is that it will eventually do that. It'll eventually fill it, but we just don't know when. Yeah, it's hard to predict when it's going to do that, you know? Whoa, green screen flash. Trying to make myself not so invisible. I think it's the shirt I'm wearing. It's a little too close to the color of my green screen. But then I get this weird artifact behind me if I do this, so I'm just trying to make it somewhere in the middle. Being a streamer is hard. All right. See how that does. It's gonna be a little weird. Maybe I don't know. It's been fine the last couple days. I don't know why it's acting weird. The gap though, sometimes I don't know. I feel like it. If it is gonna be filled, it's definitely not gonna be filled right away. Most of the time, they're not filled right away. Like this one down here. Here's one on NQ that took a while to get filled, right? And then now we have this one. So it's coming back that way, you know. We're moving that direction. So I would definitely say you're not wrong to think that maybe it'll come back into that area. That's the new uncharted territory strat. That's right, Nathan. That's right. Yeah, and going back to what you said earlier, Nathan, man, even $300 to $500 a day, you know, is like, that's like in the US the equivalent of making $30 to like $45 an hour, which I feel is pretty good pay. Maybe not the greatest, you know, but it's definitely a considerable paycheck. So not much to complain about there. Current day pay, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if that's what you make and you can replace it with trading, now we're talking, right? Now we're looking at maybe, you know, do that for 6 months to a year, build up a nice savings account, you know, have 6 months worth of savings, and then just basically make that decision. Are you ready to move on and become a full-time trader? Hey, Jack. Yeah, let's get some signals out there. Good to see you. Welcome in. Pip and dip, as they say, right? Let's get these signals. Yeah, good stuff. If you guys miss a little bit of the stream, a little trick that I do is if I come in a little bit, you know, like, ah, shoot, I missed about 15 minutes, I'll go back to the beginning, or at least to a section, and then I'll put it on 1.5 speed, and we'll talk like this, and then you go through the chart analysis, and it goes for a little bit, you know, like that, right? And then you can basically, it'll catch up to the live stream eventually. It might take 4 or 5 minutes, but it'll catch up. What's going on, Zach? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome into the stream. Glad to have you in. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Shivy. I should do that. Let me know if somebody's doing that so I can talk faster. That'd be funny. One trade away from passing in Combine today when I accidentally entered on GC rather than MGC. Oh, and instantly lost 600 in like 2 seconds. Oh, I've been there, Jack. I've done it. I've done it too, my friend. I've done it. Oh, yeah, I've done that too. And GC's no joke, right? Same with NQ. Yeah, that's no joke. That's a mistake that I've made that I had to really find a way to not make that mistake again. Yeah, especially if you have a tight stop loss and you're like, "Oh, I'm good for 30 ticks or 50 ticks or whatever," and then it just doesn't because you have you have your stop loss there, and then it just hits it. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I've been there. I've definitely been there, Jack. I've blown accounts doing that. Blown qualification accounts doing that. Yeah, sounds like a couple of the other guys have been there too. Yeah, isn't it funny, Shibby? It never gets out in profit, right? It never works out for you. It's like, no, you're gonna lose. You make a mistake, you're gonna pay for it. And I'm like, why? Why do I have to pay for it? Why can't I just, maybe make a couple of bucks and oh, oops, I won't do that again. Sorry. I can't do that. No, it's got to destroy your account. Like, come on. What is that all about? Yeah. Oh, I just hate that. Been there. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I've got about like 14 of those t-shirts. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. Worked out once for you on your funded. You made 600 on accident. Yeah. Well, I guess it took it back, right? Yeah, Karma was like, "All right, you know what? You got lucky, pal, but we're not gonna get you lucky twice. Never gonna work twice." But yeah, now when that does happen, I'm thankful that maybe I need to be more careful. That's awesome. Whoa. Green screen flash. Just trying to make these adjustments. Turning into a ghost over here. 50% chance it always cooks you. Yeah. Yeah, well said. Well said. For a while there, I was trading that way. I was like, New York Stock Exchange candle open. I don't care what direction it's going. I'm pressing the dang button. And it worked out for about a week. I was making $300-400 every day. And then I would, whatever, the rest of the day. But then the next 2 weeks, every single time I did it, I lost. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I have to come up with a better system. I've got to be more, I got to have a reason to take this trade, not just, oh, it's moving, so I press the button, which is what I've done. Like shorts, yeah. Clean range below, a lot of 4-hour ejections above, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll see. Gold is barcoding right now, which I hate when it does this crap. But looking, anybody who missed it, we're looking good for buys above up to this range, right? Because, we're taught ranges. Here's a range right here, right? Here's a range right here. You think of them as blocks. Here's a range right here. So we're in the middle. So we got this range up here. It's about 100 ticks up. And then another resistance. And then we've got about 100 ticks down with some nice rejection candles. So gold seems to be moving slightly down, but overall it's moving sideways. And NQ is definitely bearish. All right, that's the 15-minute candle there. This is might be a bit overextended here. If you guys take this one, be careful. Wait for a good retest. Might be worth a good retest here. Or even best case scenario, a small green closure. And then the next one, good type 1, we'll take that one. But we're within a range. When you're within a range, you have less probability of that trade working out for you. You really want to try and we're right in the middle. Like if I'm going to take a type 2, I want it to be here going down or here going up. When it's straight in the middle, it's riskier. And of course, a type 1, you want your breakout outside of the resistance and the empire, or the support. So it's worth waiting for. I waited for 3 or 4 hours yesterday, and I took a textbook trade in New York. Shibi caught it too, and it was worth waiting for. It was right before lunchtime. It was about 11:45 New York time that I caught that trade. It was a type 2 on gold, and it was worth waiting for. It was definitely worth waiting for. So I was like, it was one of those trades where I said, if I don't take this trade, I'm an idiot. Like, I might as well throw the computer outside. I might as well throw it in a lake, because this is why I'm here. So, let's see if I can find that trade. Yeah, here it is. Oh, it was so beautiful. This is the trade. This was at 11:45 New York time. It had been weakening, right? This was a bit of a stronger candle here. But 2 nice rejection wicks. This one is the candle I entered on. It pushed down. Look at that beautiful retest. It's retesting the level, right? The level was down here. Ignore this green line. That's right now's resistance. It was retesting this level. A bigger top wick here would have been nice, but it's never gonna be perfect. But I would call this at least an A- trade. I like to give it a little bit of a grade. I'm like, is this a B trade? Is this a C trade? Is this an A+ trade? A- trade? So, and then it pushed here. It went all the way up there. I took it. It was nice. Took it across 3 accounts. 2 of them were on my masters that were funded, and one of them's on a qualification on Top Step. I took it across all 3 accounts. Oh yeah, it was beautiful. It was so nice. You know, I could, after that trade and the trade in Asia, I could walk away for the rest of the week and make no more trades and be way up. You know, from my norm. But you know, it's not about making the money. It's about taking the right trades. And I didn't get anything in Asia last night. But, you know, we don't have to trade 0 to 2 trades per day, right? That's what we're taught. We show up, we do the same thing every day. We do the right thing, you follow your rules. I got my rules posted on the wall. I got my certificate on top of the rules. For me, that's shows me that I can get funded because I used my rules as a foundation. So that's the only way that it's possible. I have to stick to my rules. And it's all psychology. It's all the psychology. I'm going to look at something on another screen. This might freeze a little bit. Looks like gold is breaking through here. Hopefully it doesn't leave without us, but it might. This is a weird spot right now. So we'll see. It might just melt here. If it does, then it's just creating structure. It's been flat and sideways since basically pre-London. It just moved pretty sideways. So that's okay. Let's pump some blood into gold and get it woke up so we can work with it. But the candles might freeze them when I check something on another screen. Okay. Yeah, it's moving now. Look at that. Wow. Where are you going, gold? If it breaks through that, we have a pretty good level here. If you look, right? we've got 3 major rejections. So if gold, I don't mind if gold comes down here because it's rejected off this area of 3 times, which will give us an opportunity to buy it back up. And that's okay. Yeah, I'm all right with that. That gives me, to me, it makes the trade a little stronger, right? Did you get an impulse there, Jack? Hey, whatever pays the bills, man. Yeah. Yeah, gold was moving there. If you waited on that one, also a W. Also a W. But yeah, we got this, excuse me. We have this rejection level here. And then to the left, each one of these candles is a rejection. It tried to break this level in 1 hour. It tried to break this level 4 times. Each time it pushed back up. And then over here, you know, so I think we're looking at something good here. I might even do this to give myself a reminder. Put a high time frame support right here. As a reminder that this is a strong rejection level. So let's see if gold comes down. It could not, you know, I don't know. We'll see what it wants to do. NQ's on the move as well. Doesn't look like we have any news today, so could be anything. You had your sell stop when it was waking up? Yeah, there you go. Nice. Did you chase it with your stop loss, or you just let it do its thing? This is bugging me. There we go. Yeah, like Dan always says, just give it a chance to make a better setup, you know. If you wait, you usually are rewarded with that. I definitely should have worn a different color shirt today. You can see right through me. It's funny. If it doesn't hit my BE, then I'll be at an $800 win. Already took 200 partial. Sweet. Good stuff. Yep. Yeah, and it didn't have a bad rejection here. Nice rejection, right? You could count this. You could journal this as a type 1 if you wanted to. You're out. Nice. Yeah, consider locking out if you're done, Jack. Keep them profits. Don't give them back. That's what I do. You did your job. You spent 15 minutes in the market. You're done, right? If you're going to take any more trades, do it on maybe a different account, or do it on a locked account. Or not a locked account. Do it on a demo account or a blown account to to maybe get some practice in. Took it based on the 30, the 1 hour, and the 4 hour. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, big rejection here on the 1 hour. 4 hour. Everything is looking very bearish on gold. all the way from the daily to the 4 hour to the 1 hour. 30. So the fact that you sold gold, that's good. Looks like that was, you're in line with the trend. Clean range below, yeah, and it is, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we might reject here though. Who knows? It's definitely coming back up. You know, and this wick right here is basically where it's been on the lower time frames, on the 5-minute time frame, the 1-minute time frame. Wait for a better setup later. Yeah, got nothing. Yep, I don't mind waiting. I don't mind waiting for a setup, because like I say this every day, you know, I'm responsible for taking the trades that I'm accountable for it, right? Any trades that I take, I have to answer for. So when I write it in my journal, I have to face that decision again. And in the moment, you're kind of like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna take this trade or whatever, and if that's within your system, excellent. Put a good reason in there, whatever, you know. But I have taken many trades before that I was just like, this was a bad decision. You got to reface that, you know. Not saying this trade that you took was bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying if you do, when you click that button, think about that. Think about, I have to answer to myself for this, right? Is this the right trade? Is this the, you know, I look at it, I've said this before, it's like a sniper rifle. A sniper in war or whatever, he gets one bullet. Am I gonna use it on this target or a better target? You know, like you have one shot here. So for me, I get one trade in New York. I get one trade in New York, one trade in Asia. Nathan, you took it on a freshie that I've just had sitting. Yeah, excellent. Hey Sylvia, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Good to see you again. We're just watching NQ be indecisive as ever, because it's overall it's bearish and now it's coming back up. So, you know, pre-New York, you'll get that sometimes. Let's see. Okay. And then now NQ's flipping red again. No, you're not late. You're fine, Sylvia. Yeah, no, it's fine. Caught a beautiful Type 2 this morning. Nice. Was that in London that you got that? Or Asia? For me, London is at 3 a.m. Pre-London. Okay, cool. Ty's running that, right? He's still running that? How's that been going? Oh, it's over here somewhere? Yeah. Yeah, I never catch London or pre-London. Pre-London buy setup was nice. Yeah, nice. Seems like pre-London's been producing some results for people. That's good. Caught 100 pip off that buy too. Nice, Jack. Yeah, Jack, you're rolling in it today, man. Today might be a good time to go enjoy some nature or something, because you've done your job today. Yeah, yuck for on this chart right now is absolutely, NQ is gross looking right now. Bit of a gross looking way to start New York. This could be, if this candle was a little stronger, we might consider a bit of a trade here. But remember, it's overall bearish, right? So if you take this buy up, you're going against the trend, so that's a tick against the trade. This is pretty small doji. Doji means indecision. If this had some strength coming back up with a nice long bottom wick, that might be consideration, but I'm going to pass on this one because it could do this right here. Look at this right here, right? It could do this and push up and come back down. So this was a green candle at one point, right? Because it starts here, it was up here, and then it came back down. So there's a chance that this one might do that too. Pre-London is way better than London. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? That's really crazy. I bet Dan's like really sick of London because it's just been, I've heard it's just not been great lately. This past 2 months have been my best, and I'm started in November better than I ever had. So it's just been improvements day by day. Excellent, Jack. Yeah, get a little bit better. There's an old saying, get 1% better every day. Because Dan says this, right? The charts don't change. You know, the markets change, and you have to adjust to the markets. But the charts don't get better at beating you every day, right? You get better and you get sharper. These candles are the same candles that have been moving since the age of time, right? Because it's just literally a market. The stock exchange or whatever is literally a market where you're buying and selling. Instead of selling bananas and produce and fine jewelry and all that stuff, we're selling shares on a company. I don't think he is, Nathan. He was doing Asia, of course, for a long time, and then he decided he was going to switch to New York because he was getting up. He was getting up really early, and he said getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and putting all these bright lights in your face was hurting his eyes and stuff. And then he did New York for a little while, and then I don't know. I think he just, by the time New York starts, I think he just wants to be done for the day. He just wants to rest and call it a day. Because think about it, he does a 2 or 3 hour London session, and then a couple hours later he's got to jump into another long session, New York or whatever. So I don't blame him. But I don't think he is, to be honest with you. That's why I opted in for New York, because I wanted to help fill a need where, you know, quite a lot of us participate in New York, so we want to have a stream. So I'm like, hey, I can't find one, so I'm going to make one. Be the solution. That's what I say. Be the solution. See if anything's going on in Discord. Looks like Rome is doing some good stuff. That's good. Just checking the Discord. A couple people are doing really good. Excellent. Yeah, and that's the thing, man. We're taking the same trades that Dan takes and has been taking in Raja, right? We're trading the same system and setup, so there's no reason why we can't be as successful as them. Bring shovels, not dirt. Yeah. The type 1 on gold, interesting. Right here, Sylvia, for gold, I would say, personally, it's a bit overextended now. We're about 300 ticks red. So I would like to see a bit of green, but we're getting down to this major rejection level. There's these long wicks here And then over to the left, the same. I might be able to move this up a little bit. Yeah, I think I will. Just a little bit. But I'm expecting gold to have a reaction down here. What do you guys think? Not saying exactly what direction it would go, but it definitely could bounce and pull, you know, this kind of move where it moves green for 3 hours. It could also blast right through this area. So we'll see. We'll see what structure is formed down here. If we get something like this here on the 30, this probably looks really nice. Yeah. Oh, that looks, look at that. Look at that long bottom rejection. Nice retest. Maybe a bit of it more of a retest. This candle could be a little bit bigger because we had so much. You got to be careful here when it comes to the red. You should see weakening. Instead, this is getting stronger. So that could be a reason to not take this trade. Constantly be finding reasons to not take a trade. And then when you run out of reasons not to take a trade, you probably should be taking that trade. Instead of justifying a trade, find reasons to kind of like deny the trade or make the trade fall apart. But this here, this is a strong red. But this is a nice green rejection off this major level to push back up. So if I were to take this here, I would go light. Even though it's a winning trade, the probabilities are lower because there's so much seller strength. Anyways, we could do something like that again. My point in bringing that up, that could happen here. But we definitely need some green to hold a level. That's what I'm looking at here. All right. Here we go on NQ. A little bit late. We're about 6.5 minutes on this candle. You can see the timer there. Over here. 6.5 minutes left. But it is moving. If you do take this, just be careful. NQ is overall bearish. So it could fall apart on you. If you're gonna take this, scalp it. Get a cup, get your 20 ticks and get out. That's what I would do. And then journal that. Journal the reason you took that trade. It might be a bit too far gone now anyways. Let's look at MES as well and see what it's doing. Yeah, similar move on MES. If MES gets down here, I'd be interested. Look at all that clean range there. It's a little choppy above there. I mean, but if you get above this resistance right here, and it's pretty clean. So, yeah, we might be looking at MES. Look at all that. Thank you. Thank you, Shibby. Well, if this cough would go away, I could stop muting the microphone. Anyways, I was just saying. Yeah, I feel like that emoji. That emoji you just posted, the red one, that's how I feel. This here looks pretty interesting for NQ. And MES is looking pretty good too. That's all I was basically saying. Is that we're in a little bit of a gas station here on NQ. Coming down here, fueling up a little bit, possibly dropping after that. But MES is also showing some interesting price action. Above is really clean all the way up. Buy's looking good. And below this level, I mean, we're just outer space, right? Yeah, New York Stock Exchange opens in 34 minutes to be exact. There's a little bit of range here, though, too, on MES. So, I like what's going on with this one. And over here, yeah, it's pretty ugly below that. I wouldn't want to really trade in this area too much. This is that gap that we have on NQ that's missing. All right, Jack. Yeah, absolutely. Good luck to you. Nice wins, lockout, and enjoy your freedom of being a trader, right? Go do something. Treat yourself to ice cream or something. I don't know. Go do something just for you. Yeah, have a good one, Jack. So, MES is okay. Below this level, though, maybe not. Yeah, go to sleep. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, like Brian said, maybe sleeping is for you. I don't think sleeping's for anybody else, so that works, right? Now, I just basically get yourself a little celebration there. It's midnight, yeah. Hey, I'm sure you could get an ice cream at midnight if you really wanted to. I'd rather have nachos at midnight. Yeah, appreciate it, Brian. Like the stream. If you guys don't mind, help the algorithm push out this stream at this time for New York. Appreciate that. Maybe Raja will come in and be like, who taught you how to do this? I didn't teach you how to do this. I'm going to move this level now. It's kind of... I'm actually going to get this one out of here, because now we can kind of look at this as the stronger high time frame support. Yeah, still interesting. We got the top of the hour candle is closing right now, so each hour candle should be closing. So we should get some volume on the 1 hour. These are both on the 1 hour right now. So new 1 hour candles starting. 4 hour closes in 1 hour. So that 10 o'clock New York candle is an important candle because it's the closure of the 4 hour. Look what NQ did. NQ just died. What is this? It's flat. See, and this is why I look at MES. It didn't do that. It didn't go completely flat. Still, this is, what is this? I don't recognize this kind of price action. This is nothing. Can't work with this at all. There's nothing here. Not yet. When you see it, you'll see it. You'll recognize the setup. You'll see it from across the room. That's how I know. If this right here, if this red doji was not here, and this green did not have a bottom wick, this would be a nice type 1. And we would have got in about right there and taken it down. Even though it's within a range, we could have taken a quick rat scalp on that. But it did not present that opportunity. Any of you guys interested in stock options? Like how to trade options? Because we can go through some of that if you're interested. I could show you a little bit. You know, we're just waiting for these candles to produce a setup anyways, so we could definitely go through some of it. Okay. Yeah, we're just waiting anyways. All right. Let me interested in the high probability to make income that you mentioned. Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about it a little bit. Hope to get going soon though, so maybe another day. That's fine, Brian. You can always this is recorded. It'll be on the YouTube. You can always come back. You can watch it back. You guys don't have to be here for that. Yeah, let's look at a couple of things. So, I don't know how brokers work in other countries. And I'm not sure if you're allowed to get a broker, like a US-based broker, if you're not a US citizen. I'm not sure how that works. It's something I need to look into. But if you were able to get a broker and you're able to trade the stock market through that broker, then you can do what's called options. And to explain it to the most simplest form, you have your stock market that's got, you know, I don't know, Tesla and Microsoft, all the big companies, they put the stocks out there. And what you can do is instead of just buying the stock or selling the stock, you can buy a contract or sell a contract on the stock. And what that basically does is it allows you to set a specific price that you want to buy or sell that stock. That's all it is. It's as simple as I can explain. It's called a strike price. And the strike price basically means that you open this contract, let's say the stock is at $100 per share, and you open this contract that says, I would like to buy it at $95 per share. Would you agree to this, basically? And you put this contract out into the market, and they usually get bought up really quickly. Somebody will buy that up and say, yeah, I'll take that. And basically what that means is that somebody is saying that they will sell you their shares at $95 a stock if it moves in one direction or the other. And think about it from their perspective. Stock is currently at $100. I open up a contract at $95, saying I want to buy this at $95, and the stock drops to $75. Now that person is like, yeah, I want to sell my stock for $95 because it dropped to $75. And in that case, you, as the person who put out that contract, would necessarily maybe not get the best, deal, right? And this goes both ways. But there's two ways to do it. There's, I will start with this. You have to have a little bit of a savings, like some cash built up in order to do this. And if you don't, then it's kind of hard to do it. So like, for example, in the United States, we have, retirement accounts, and we'll use our retirement accounts money that we get when we work a job. They put money in that account. You can do this kind of thing where you're buying or selling options contracts on your IRA or your Roth IRA or your retirement account. So you really need to start with a bit of money, invest, right? It's just like anything. You're not going to buy a stock if you have no money. You know what I mean? So once you do, though, like let's say you have $10,000 that you've built over the last several years, or you trade here, you start taking payouts and you start building a personal account. This is where this kind of ties in, is you're able to take money out of the market here and put it into a brokerage and put it into a personal cash account, and then start trading contracts based on that account, right? So that's kind of where you have to start with it, but it's something to look into. I'm gonna drop I don't know if I can drop a link of somebody who can explain this 10 times better than I can on YouTube. But we'll go through it, and I'll still talk about it. But I want to drop this guy's. He explains it very, very well. And he took 16,000. He took $16,000. He turned into $1 million in a couple of years. That is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's see here. Here's his YouTube channel. See if I can drop it in the stream. Check that out. Maybe just save that, watch a couple of his videos, and if you guys are interested, we can actually practice going through opening contract trades, and we'll do it through a platform called Thinkorswim. Let's see if it'll let me show you guys this. Yeah. So this is Thinkorswim. And basically it's a bit crazy and confusing at first. But I'll just show you. Yeah, you bet, Brian. I'll show you. Let's look at a if you guys start seeing anything on gold or NQ, call it out for me if you don't mind while I'm doing this. Let's look at we'll use AMD for example. AMD is a Advanced Micro Devices or whatever. It's a really popular company in regards to making microchips and stuff. A lot of tech companies. You make a lot of money off tech companies. So we'll look at AMD. I'll just show you guys what I recently did. And it was pretty phenomenal. So here's AMD. Trades just like any other market, right? Gold's completely melting. Yeah. I'll come back to those charts when it gets closer to the 15-minute candle. All right, so here's AMD, and we're looking at, this is a 15-minute candle. So let's go to the 30-day 1-hour candle. This platform is free, and you can do simulated trading, basically paper trading. You can also paper trade gold futures as well on here. I'm actually gonna take myself off the screen so you can see the full screen here. All right, so this is AMD. So basically what I did here is I sold a contract right here. Oh, sorry, not there. Here we go. This is where I sold a contract. I sold a contract here that says if the stock stays at or below $175, I will basically get paid for this contract. Let's see. Gold may be setting up. Let me take a quick look here. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Nathan. All right, we'll come back to gold for a minute. Pause on the options. We'll come back to that. Yep, major rejection here. Good call. Let's see how this candle closes. I'm going to ignore NQ for a minute. Also got it on my top step here. If this has a nice, if this flips green, that would be nice. Nice, really nice. Let's see what it does. Stock market opens in 15 minutes. So if we take this trade, make sure you're out before the stock exchange opens in 15. Yeah, good call out. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's see what we get here. Let's see what we get. So calculate our stop loss. Pretty big, right? Depends on how far. This is such a massive wick. If we get in about here, yeah, that's a pretty large stop loss. I might only take a couple of contracts, and it's still moving down. I really want this candle to come up and close green, or the next one to do that. But then we're opening at the stock exchange, so this could be risky. This could be a bit of a risky trade here. If next candle creates a big wick, you can put a stop loss below that one. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, you bet, Will. Yeah, and it might be below. You see where this wick is on this candle? This might be a good stop loss area for that. If this closes like this, that sucks. I don't want that. I want to see some like decision here. Ah, what a garbage closure. It's terrible. Oh. Need a top wick first, then a bottom wick retest with an entry pip. That's right. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to take this one. Because I got to, like I said, I got to journal this, right? Yeah. Bit of a risky trade here if you guys take it. Bit of a risky trade. Not the cleanest. Not the cleanest. It could definitely... Yeah, exactly, Will. That's how I look at it. I got to journal this, right? I've got to be responsible. I got to explain why I took this trade. Can I explain it without justifying it? Because I can justify myself out of a paper bag. Trust me. So far, some things moving against it is we have a lot of strength moving down. And yes, it did come all the way back up, but it's still red. This candle here is really struggling. If this is a major rejection level, if you look over here, it's rejected a couple of times. So maybe give this another candle or two to really show us that it does not want to go down there. It wants to reject. So, you know, it's not really showing much rejection again. So, a bit of a risky one. I'm going to pass on this one for now. That's okay. I don't mind waiting. Also, when you get in a trade, right? If within the first like 3 to 4 minutes of that trade, it hasn't done anything that you wanted it to do, then you're kind of like, do I want to be stuck in this trade for the next 10 minutes? Especially when we got New York opening shortly. I'd rather exit, come back later for a better setup. Just because you're in a trade doesn't mean you have to stay in that trade. You can always get out of it and get a better entry. Like some of the guys here, like Shem, he cracks me up. He'll lock himself out for this one candle. He'll lock himself out for 15 minutes. So you lock yourself out for one candle if you want. What's going on with my green screen? It's like really weird today. Yeah, it could leave without us, and that's okay. NQ doing anything? Probably not. Woke up a little bit. Look at that ugly price action prior to that. Yeah, gonna have to wait. Now look at it. See, if you'd be stuck in this, you'd be going into drawdown now. You'd be going towards your stop loss. It's okay. We got some time. All right. If you guys are still interested, while we're kind of waiting for this, I'll bring up the options again. Hide myself here. Feel free to call out something. I'm gonna wait until stock exchange to really grab something here. So anyways, if you look at this stock here, this stock for a long time was stuck at like 160 to 150, 155 or whatever. So I bought a contract that says I think it's going to stay below 175. And what happened is that it came all the way down to 165. And when that happens, you're basically putting your cash up as collateral to say that I will buy the shares at or below 165, 175, whatever price you choose. If it goes above that, so when you put this contract out, basically you're telling you're telling the buyer, and I highly recommend stay away from buying options. You can do it, but it's a lot more risky. You buy an option, and it's a race to the end, right? It's a race to the expiration date, and it's usually 15 to 30 to 45 days expiration. You're racing the seller to the end. Who's gonna win this race is kind of how it is, right? As the buyer, your chances of that are like 30%. It's bad. So what's on the other side of that? 70%. That's where the seller comes in. And depending on which contract you take, you will usually win your trade 70 to 80% of the time if you let it go to expiration. If you buy your contract back before it goes to expiration, you win 100% of the time. So basically, when you open this contract, the buyer pays you a premium. They will say, "Yeah, I'll pay you $300 to take this contract, saying that this stock will stay below 175. You're on." It's like a bar bet, right? Okay, cool. I'll sell you that contract. Thank you for the $200 for passing go. You collect that $200 or that $300, which you decide, and you keep it. You don't give it back. It goes in your account immediately. It stays there. You don't give it back. The only way you give it back is if you buy back your own contract. So you take $300 and you put it in your account. Now it's a waiting game. You wait 15, 30, 45 days, whatever you decide. The longer you wait, the better the money you'll make. The more there's a premium. So in this case, I said, I will say it stays below 175, and it did, but it dropped so low that I actually got assigned the shares. And what that means is I said that I would buy these shares if it did that, and it did. So I ended up buying, and you control 100 shares of the stock. I ended up buying 100 shares, I was already planning on buying shares. It wasn't something that I was surprised by. So I bought 100 shares of this stock. As soon as I bought 100 shares, that's called a cash secured put. You put your cash up as collateral to say, yeah, I've got the money. If I technically lose this bet, but you didn't lose any money, you lose the bet. Yeah, I'll buy the shares I'll buy 100 shares, right? You already plan on buying the shares anyway. The difference is that somebody paid you $300 to take that little bit of a game on it, on that contract. If it goes the other way and you don't buy the shares, you keep 100% of that premium, that $300. You keep your collateral, and you keep the $300. Literally, either way, you keep the $300. So you're selling the ability to buy contracts. I know it's a little confusing. Alex explains it. The guy that I posted there, he explains a lot better than I do. So now I've got 100 shares of AMD. What do I do with it now? Well, I can wait till it goes up and sell it. Just the same old buy, sell, whatever. Did you know you can sell another contract and you hold your shares that I just purchased? I can hold my shares as collateral. So now instead of saying I've got the cash to buy the contracts if I lose the bet, but like I said, you don't lose any money. Now I'll put my shares up to do the exact same thing. I'll bet my shares as collateral that the price stays at or below a specific price. And if I lose that bet, then I will basically have to sell my shares at that price. So let's use 175 again, which is what I selected. I selected 175. So I put another contract out there. This one I sold for $600. I sold it for $600 that says if the price stays at or below 175, I keep my shares and I'll keep the premium that you paid me. Well, AMD jumped all the way up to $240 in like one day. That's an insane. It doesn't happen normally. And the reason why is because AMD partnered with AI, with OpenAI, ChatGPT. So now I'm in a contract that says I will sell my shares at $175. Remember, I collected $600 to take this contract. I will still sell my shares at $175. That's the agreement that I entered into, hoping that the price stays below $175. And guess what? It shot above it. So did I lose in that trade? No. And here's why. What ended up happening is AMD has stayed up here way above 175, and it's gone up quite a bit. So if you bought back then those shares, I could have waited and then sold those shares, which I'd made a premium off of. I made money off them. I could have resold them for $235 per share. But because I opened another contract and collected $600, I was then obligated to sell those shares at 175. But I knew that risk when I was going into it. But I still didn't lose, because what happened was when I bought the shares, I actually bought them at 170. And every time you collect a premium, you're basically lowering your price. So my actual break-even price was about 160. So I still made $15 per share, and I had 100 shares on these contracts, even though I had to sell them because the price went up here. So there is no loss. There's no worst case scenario. I still collected an additional $15 per share when I sold those shares, as well as the premium for the contracts. And that's where options comes in. When selling options, this is why it's so amazing, because you're collecting a premium on shares you would sell anyways, on shares you would buy anyways. So that's kind of the gist of it. And then you do that through here. Like I'll show you this real quick, then we'll go back to gold. You're basically selecting your expiration. So like in this case, this is, let me do AMD. If you are going to do this, I recommend 30 to 45 days is the sweet spot. Here's 17 days. So we'll close that one. 24 days, 31 days. I'll look at 31 days. 31 day expiration. This is the sell call side. So the price is currently at like 250, 255. Let me show you this real quick. This is going to blow your mind. Let's say I wanted to say, you know, we'll choose 220. I can collect, this is times 100. I can collect $500 for that trade right now. You want to get a little closer to the price? This is $1,000. $1,000. If I click this button and sell this button, I will sell a contract and make $1,000 right now. Instant money. Goes right in my account, and I don't have to give it back. The only way I give it back is if I decide to buy that contract back for like $200. It cancels a contract, and I keep the remaining $800. If you're really risky and you want to sell that contract because you're like, this stock is going up and never coming back to this price, I'm selling it for right now. This is $1,500 you would collect right now. Now you have to put $25,000 up. This is times 100, $25,000 up as collateral. But if you have it, if you're already planning on buying 100 shares, might as well collect the $1,500 on top of it. So that's the meat and potatoes of options. The quick version of it. It's one of the best things I've ever found in my entire life. So anybody that's interested there, that's kind of how that works. Bell is going off in 1 minute here. For New York Stock Exchange open in 1 minute. Whoa, where's gold going? Wow. It hasn't even opened yet. Dang, it just blasted through that level. Look at that. Wow. That's why you just never know what's going to happen, man. Look at this. Look at gold just melting 1 minute before stock exchange. That's about to hear the bell. Amazing. Yep, we had this rejection level and gold is just like, see ya. And it could come back. There it is. Stock exchange is now open. People are gambling and betting away their kids' scholarships as we speak. Gold is shitting itself. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, William. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it rockets all the way back up. Big fake out. But think about it, right? Anybody who's watching gold, before that bell goes, they're like, oh yeah, we're getting a sell. We're getting a sell. Let's do this. And then they take it. The bell opens. And then now look. green. And you're like, I just got into a sell on gold, and now look at it. NQ definitely does that all the time. You watch this. This is the New York candle. It's going to go red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. We're still in a range, though. This is where our system protects us, right? We're in this range. We know what we're looking at, right? We're not fixating on this one candle. We're not fixating on the 15-second chart where this candle is just all over the place, going crazy. We're looking at it on a higher time frame, and our system's protecting us by following the setups. If gold does get down here, what are we looking at? It's a bit choppy, man. Ugh. Yeah, it's already where this green line is. It's already down here. There's a level right there. Gonna have to give it some time. I haven't gotten a setup in New York pre-bell in a little while. I've had to wait a couple of hours. Yeah, look at it now. Wow. I guess gold and Q are a bit bearish today. That's all right. Yeah, look at it go. Look at it go. Yeah, so anyways, if you guys are more interested in options, check out that guy's channel, Alex. And if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to ask. So far, I've been 100% profitable. I've never lost $1. And I know that sounds really like boasting. I'm not trying to boast. I'm just saying that it's just a good system. It just works. It just works. Do you remember when Dan said about this random guy from the internet telling after 9 green weekly candles there'd be a big sell-off? That's right, Sylvia. He did. Yeah. Dan's a prophet. He's a wizard. He's a candle wizard. But that's what's happened, right? I think people were buying physical gold. And whether the news or whatever told everybody to go out and buy gold, sounds like a bit of a rug pull to me. Everybody buy gold, and then there's this big sell-off. Let's get all these suckers to buy gold, real gold, at the highest price it's ever been. Look, now it's back under 4,000. I remember when we were looking at it like, oh my gosh, I can't believe gold's going to cross 4,000. And it made it all the way up to like 43, 4,400, which is when people started buying it. What the heck? Why are you buying gold at all-time highs, man? So now it's selling off, and the people that bought gold at all-time highs at 4,000, now it's 3,900. They're like, ugh. Or 4,300, and now it's 3,900. And Q's melting. I'm sure MES is melting. Yep. Yeah, it's tricky. The New York candle, stock exchange candle's tricky. So you can definitely trade that first candle, but it's risky. Very risky. You guys jump in the Discord and throw Nikki some love. She's struggling a little bit. She said her psychology's a bit of a spot. I think we should jump in and maybe encourage her. You know, let her know she's not alone. She doesn't have to take trades alone. She's just kind of posting how she's in tilt right now, so maybe we can throw her some love, give her some support, you know, maybe help build up her psychology a little bit, boost her up a little bit. Don't want to see anybody struggle like that. Have you taken anything on gold yet for New York? No, not yet, Brett. We're still watching it. As you can see, gold has basically presented nothing but red candles today. We haven't even gotten any kind of support structure. So it's basically just melting on us, and we're waiting for something to present an opportunity, which is fine. Don't mind at all. Looks like gold's going to stay below this line here. So I'm going to move my level probably to about, it's already below that. Wow. This is crazy. Gold is just taken off without us. See, I got these support levels. I'm always looking at what I'm going to lose first. You know? Where's it at? Yeah. Still in this range, NQ. Just really does not want to leave this range. Just checking the audio levels. Music sounds like a good level. I hate that when you get on a stream and you're just blasted by the music and you can't hear the person at all. So I always like to check it. Yeah, what's going on here, gold? You're just gonna go through the floor? I think that gold is gonna crash to the bottom of my computer and end up in the basement before I know it. Sometimes New York's like this. It just needs time to build structure and form structure. Just needs time. Tell you what we could do while we're waiting, if you guys want. We'll stay here, but we can go through some rules if you're interested. If you guys want to just talk about some rules, let's see. How's the best way we could do this? I'll tell you what, we'll do this. Let's have a little fun. Why not? We're just sitting here looking at candles anyways, right? I'll throw a poll in here and have you guys answer. And if you want to post a rule that you have that helps keep you in line, we could talk about it. Why not? Let's see here. You got disconnected, Shibby. Oh, we're just, since we're just kind of waiting, we're just gonna talk about rules, our own personal rules. Maybe, and the purpose of it is to sharpen our rules. All right, Nathan. Yeah, good to see you, man. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. Good to see you. But yeah, basically, we're a hive mindset, right? We're trading together. So I kind of look at it like maybe somebody has a rule that you hadn't thought of before, or maybe you have a rule that you want to sharpen or make better. That's really the purpose. The purpose here is just to, let's say somebody says something, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a great rule. I'm going to throw that in my personal rule book. That kind of thing. All right, let's see. So I'm going to do this poll. And basically I'm going to put a rule. This is one of my rules. And if you agree with it, hit yes. If you disagree with it, hit no. And if you do hit no, don't think of that as like a bad thing, right? Constructive criticism, right? If you have a good reason why that's not good or something that you don't do, maybe give us a little idea. Let's see. Nice rejection, maybe type 1 breakout, but too much green in a big move. Yeah. Right now I've got too much red on gold and too much green on NQ. All right, so I'll just throw this out there. I'm just copying it directly from my rules. And if you agree, or if you agree, or if it's a rule you follow, hit yes. If it's no, tell me why. Just curious. Give me a reason, because then we can kind of like iron it out. Something for us to do while we're waiting for some structure. All right, here we go. And it's the first time me trying the polls, so let's give that a shot. These days I'm just trying to not revenge and FOMO. Yeah, it's good, Shibby. That's a tough one. Revenge and FOMO. Yeah, that's tough. I think I have a... Let me see if I still have something for that. They have. Let's see here. Maybe it's not in here. See if I can find it. I don't know where that is. Well, basically, I have a. Nope. I have this thing that I made for Dan. It talks about the trader's graveyard. I just don't know where I put it. Take a minute here and look for it. If I don't find it, then we'll move on. Yeah, I can't find it. Basically, it just says that traders, there's a graveyard of traders, and it's ones that overtraded, ones that revenge traded, and then had unrealistic expectations. So that's our destiny as traders if we don't get control of it, basically. See what chat looks like. Got 100%. Yes, that's good. Good. Always trade with the trend. That's good. Yep. And it's easy to trade against the trend or to miss it, right? Because you're looking at the lower time frame and you miss it. Sometimes, though, it reverses. Like gold right now could be reversing. And if we get a pretty strong green, there's no bottom wick, though. It'd be nice to have a bottom wick on this green. But if we get a pretty strong green, we could consider type 2 back up. All right, let's see. Catch up on chat here. I'm really focused on buying my trades. So before a trade, I literally think about losing this one, and that's fine. That's good, Will. Yeah, absolutely. And then you feel less revenge. Yeah, if you've already processed the idea of losing, and you've already accepted that, and then you go into the trade and you focus on your loss first. You set your stop loss. You get all that ready to go. Because this is what I do. I kind of ignore the trade while I'm setting up my stop loss. And my job then is to manage that loss. That's good. It specifically burns, or especially burns you when you knew the direction. Yeah, it stops you out and leaves you without you. Oh, I hate that. And sometimes you can exit and re-enter. I've done that a couple of times where you're able to get a better entry. Yeah, I've been stopped out. I hate the most when I'm taking a trade with Dan or the group or whatever, and my stop loss is like just shy of what everybody else had, and it hits my stop loss, but nobody else's stop loss got hit because they were about 3 or 4 ticks further than mine. and then it just rockets, and that trade wins like 200 ticks. I'm like, oh, I got stopped out. Nobody else did. That's where the FOMO really kicks in, and when that happens, I force myself to lock out. Hey, Rome, how you doing, man? Welcome in. Good to have you here. Yeah, good to have you here. No, you're not late. You're fine. Yeah, this is on YouTube, so you can always go back and watch if you're interested. But yeah, doesn't that suck when you get stopped out and everybody else wins and you're like, ugh? And that's like really when the FOMO kicks in. Terrible FOMO, yeah. And if you recognize that early, because I remember the day that happened to me, I actually got mad. I physically got mad. I was like, I threw something. I was like, damn it, right? And I got mad, and then I recognized I'm really in an emotional state here. I got angry, so I just went straight to the lockout button. I just clicked lockout, lockout, lockout. And then when I came back later, I was cooled off. I was like, I'm glad I locked out because I could have blown it. This was like, this probably about a month ago. Yeah, I usually don't re-enter because it's cooked me again. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, Shibby. Yeah, look at NQ here, man. Just one color, one direction. But we got some clean range up here, so NQ could present something if it just chills a little bit and doesn't leave without us. I try to go with the trend. If you look at the 4 hour, there hasn't been big range since October 28th. Yeah. Gold has really moved sideways quite a bit. All right, I'll throw another one in the chat, another poll here. Just like I said, we're just waiting anyways. Okay. Good on that one. We have 100% yes. Good. Excellent. And thanks for participating in that. 100% yes, trade with the trend, not against it. Good. That's one of my rules. That is at the top of my list. Top of my list. Okay. We'll do another one. If anybody doesn't quite understand or wants to go through an example what one of these rules means, we'll do that. Okay. This next one is easy to miss if you don't stay on top of it. It's easy to forget. Okay. And like I said, if this is a rule that you have in your rule book or a rule that you follow, that would be a yes. If it's a no, let me know why, because I'm curious. Maybe I'm missing something, right? I'm not naive. About 5 minutes here till gold presents. It's looking pretty good for gold. Very, very strong rejection off that level. Not much of a bottom wick there, but we might be able to take the next candle. All right, looks like this one might be also at 100%. Sweet. I'll let you guys keep voting. Yeah, so this is now engulfing on gold, which is good. We want that. We want an engulfing. I'm looking at a buy coming up here. If it stays right here, maybe comes back down a little bit, creates a nice little top wick. That's what we're looking for. If it doesn't do that and it just disappears, we got nothing. If it does what NQ's doing right now, we got nothing. This needs to really show us something better. I would prefer a bottom wick here to show the rejection off of this high time frame support level, which has rejected at least 3 times, right? So we don't get the wick, right? But we can see that this is a major rejection level. This has structure. So that, like I said, I'm not trying to justify it, but that definitely gives it a little bit more weight. when it's missing an element such as the bottom wick. Okay. Next one is in this trade. So the trade that aligns with the high time frame chart. Looks like everybody's doing that too. That's good. Okay, cool. Excellent. Yep. Don't even need to explain that one. Everything's good on that. It's easy, right? You're looking at this. How easy is it to kind of hyper focus on this? And then you're like, well, wait a minute. Doesn't hurt to go back into the 4 hour. 4 hours bearish, but it is moving up. 1 hour is bearish, but it's moving back up. 30-minute is, that's a pretty flat. Well, it did moved all the way down and moved back up. So 30-minute looks pretty good. If this could close green, that would look nice. So let's see what this 15-minute candle does. I really need to see some structure here. NQ is, there's nothing on NQ right now, so I'm going to hide NQ for the moment and focus on gold. We have a pretty large, if you do take this, you're going to have 2 spots for your stop loss. If you go light, you could bring your stop loss down here. If you go heavy, wherever this next candle creates a bottom wick, if it comes down to here, maybe put your stop loss there. But just be careful. This is a pretty good safe spot for your stop loss, but this is almost a 200-300 tick candle. You're gonna have to go really light. 1 to 2 micros if you decide to put your stop loss down here. So we'll wait. Got 1:40 on that, so we'll see how that plays. It is engulfing, so I'm liking that. Want a little bit of a top wick though. What I would say, Candace, is yes and no, because it is moving sideways. This is the 4 hour. So the 4 hour did come down, but it's come back up and it's rejected off a major level. So it's mostly, gold is moving sideways, up and down, up and down. On the daily and the weekly, they're red, but the long bottom wick. So if you take this, I would consider it kind of counter trend. It's not like, this isn't what I would consider a perfect trade. If you're going to get a rat scalp, get in and get out, maybe try and grab a take profit to here. It's tricky. You can look at it both ways. Because it's moving sideways, is it against the trend or with the trend? It's hard to tell. But this setup here, I have to see one very specific thing if I'm going to take this. I need to see a retest of this level. It's got to give me a good significant bottom wick for me to take this. A little baby wick like that does not tell me anything. You know, I want this candle is 100. It's a 250 tick candle. It's insanely massive. So I want to see a good bottom wick on this next one. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm willing to risk that. You guys agree? And if you disagree, throw it in the chat. You know, let's have a conversation about it. It's fine. There's no judgment here. We're just talking through, right? We're here to trade together, win, lose, or draw. Everybody trades a little differently, but we can trade kind of hive mindset in a way. It could barcode too. I've seen gold do this where it's just up, down, green, red, green, red. If I do take this, I might go light. I think it looks a little confusing. Just going to watch until it makes sense. Yeah. And that's a good observation, Candace. If something in the market is just like yesterday was gold when everything was just confusing. The market just felt confusing. And you got to pay attention to that. One micro will? Yeah, for sure. You can win $100 off one micro. You know, so there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that at all. To me, $100 is a good day, especially if you take it across 3 accounts, $300. I can't ask for anything else. You know, I would rather personally take a smaller trade and get less ticks and do it across multiple accounts than go for the jackpot. I don't need to do that. Gold's on crack. Yeah, no kidding, man. Yeah, gold's moving. I remember when gold was moving like 20 ticks at a time. Now it's moving hundreds of ticks at a time. 30-minute, 1 hour shot a good show a good rejection. Just make sure you wait for a good retest and you'll want to enter. Yeah, exactly, Rome. And you know, just as well as anybody else, if this comes all the way back up and flips green and breaks the wick of the previous trade, the probabilities of it continuing are better. Maybe not best, but better. So you're playing a game of probabilities. You're stacking the odds in your favor by doing that, right? We get a nice retest here, then we can absolutely get a little bit more probability. You know, think of it like, if there's a percentage I'm going to win this trade and I've got a jar, I'm just constantly adding percentages to this jar. So if I get what I'm looking for, I get another 10%. If I get a bottom wick, I get another 10%, you know, until you get as close to 100% as you can. Yeah, those were the days, Rome. But you know what, now, I don't know if it's better or not. Like, I know guys like Ty, he loves these massive candles. And I think Shem's like, yeah, I never wanted to go back to 30 or 40 ticks. You know, he loves this huge ranges that gold is creating. And it is fascinating. It's fun to watch. There's no doubt about it. Just check NQ real quick. Bit overextended. A lot overextended. In fact, this level, I don't know why that's there. This level is there. That's about right there. That's a ridiculous overextended. I'm not even looking at NQ. Not right now. All right, back to gold. I can use the smaller amounts because my risk plan is pretty small. It's good. Yeah, that's good, Will. Absolutely. Yeah, very true. Only works if you have a good buffer. 2 micros means willing to lose 300 on a single trade. Yep. And see, you're thinking about your loss first, Rome, and that's great. You're calculating your loss first, and that's important. I do it based on my max loss limit. My max loss that I want to lose on one of these accounts for the entire day is $350, which means that if I take 2 trades, the most I can lose per trade is $175. $175 in this range right here is probably less than 1 micro. We're looking at 100 ticks here. 100 ticks, gold is $1 per micro. So 100 ticks on 1 micro is $100, right? So if I get in about right here, is how I calculate it. If my mouse is being really dumb. If I enter at the top of this wick and I calculate based on this, we're looking at 138. So that's almost my max loss for this trade. My max loss limit total is 350 that I want on these accounts, which I could put all the way down there if I wanted to. I can only take one micro though, unless I want to lose more, which I don't. We also have to consider the clock, right? We're at 8 minutes and this trade has not done a whole lot. Best case scenario, which would make this trade even more beautiful, is that this candle closes just like this. Red hammer. And the next one is a type 1 up. The only way we could get a type 2 after that is if it comes all the way back down. But this would look really nice. We're either going to get a type 2 right now, or we're going to get a nice type 1 in the next candle, or it's all going to fall apart. That's what I'm seeing. If this candle doesn't do much in the next 2 minutes, I typically don't like to take a candle when there's 5 minutes left on the clock or less, just personally. I'll wait for the closure because I'd love to see a red closure look just like it does, just about what it looks like right now. About 1 minute left for me personally. Oh, you accidentally clicked market sell? Oh, Matthew. I've done that, man. Don't revenge trade it. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that, and best thing to do is just be neutral about it. Just move on. Just move on. Don't let it bother you. Either move on or lock out, because you can go on tilt. That's something that can make you go on tilt. I've done it too. And I have to make a decision. Okay, I just screwed up. I either need to lock out right now before I lose everything, or I need to move on and forget about it. And I've been able to do both. So it's a mistake that can turn into something bigger. Yeah. If you can move on and be like, whatever, no big deal. It's fine, no big deal, and move forward, then you'll be all right. But I've done it. All right, I'm looking at not trading this candle. I'm gonna wait. I'd like it to close just like this. This would be really, really nice type 1. So that's what I'm looking for. If it does flip green, I'm not taking it. You guys can if you want. If this candle that we're in right now flips green, I'm not taking it. I've already made that decision. Look at NQ real quick. Probably not much. NQ is doing a similar thing. Could get a type 1 on NQ as well. I'm going to watch them both. I like when both markets show up to the party and you're like, ooh, which one do I need to take? And that's a tough one. If you had to go through that before, you look at both of them and you're like, I got 2 type 1s right here. What do I take? And the way I usually make that decision is I look at the range that I have left. So on gold, if I were to take a type 1, I'd probably enter about maybe about right here or so. There's a level to the left. I've got about 225 ticks to I probably have a reaction. 225 ticks is 255 ticks, whatever. That's plenty, right? Over on NQ, I've got a level right here. So we're looking at 131 ticks, and actually more like 100 because my entry is going to be right where that dashed line is. I'd rather take gold in this situation if they both present a perfect type 1, because I've got more range. I've got more range on gold to play with. Plus, gold is $1 per tick, and NQ is 50 cents per tick. So there's a consideration there too. You'd have to open more contracts on NQ to make the same amount as you would on gold. If anything, also, NQ is another thing to disqualify it. NQ is mostly bearish. So this could be a major fake out right here. So this could be a sell-off. And I don't want to be buying this. So that's another reason to not take NQ. Gonna lock out so I don't do anything stupid. Good. That's excellent, Matthew. Yeah. It happens, and I think that's the right choice. That's smart. Support that 100%. Yeah, see you in Asia, for sure. Oh, I appreciate you being here. Yeah, really do. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming in. We do this every day. Every day that the market's open, we'll do New York. So, you're always welcome to come back in. Yeah, thanks, Will. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I agree, Will. I meant to say I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, I'm liking gold. I'm gonna not look at NQ, and those are the two things that disqualify for me. It's overall bearish, and there's a level right there. And that's how I make my decision. Whoa. All right, let's see if gold can give us what we're looking for. No, it's good, Matthew. Yeah, 2 a.m. Dedicated. You're the night shift crew. The zombie crew. I appreciate you being here. We'll see what gold sets up here. And if we get nothing, then we might call it after that. We'll see. We'll see. I got steam left in the engine. Yeah, it's a bit of a not what I was quite looking for. I was really hoping for more of a hammer. You know. Why do you do us so dirty, gold? I wouldn't not consider this a type 2 at all. If it would have closed about there, we would have had a nice type 1 with that bottom wick. This could rock it. This is a tough one. Because think about it, right? Your entry is from where the candle is now, your entry is 100 ticks from here. That's a massive range. Which means your stop loss is going to be all the way down here. And there's a lot of strength, a lot of seller strength in that red candle right there. And it's been red for the last several hours. I hope this helps me kind of talking through what we're seeing live on screen. Just how I'm kind of seeing it. I just want the best setups. I just want the cleanest, best trades. Because when you get a setup or a trade and it's like, oh, this is golden, then you can go a little heavier. And it makes up for days like this where you're just like, ugh, I didn't get a trade today, or I passed on A minus B minus setup. That when you take that A plus trade tomorrow or in Asia or whatever, it will just totally engulf something like this. Better to not trade than lose on something you know you shouldn't. I couldn't have said it better. Absolutely will. Yeah. I learned early from Dan that there will always be a better setup. It will always show itself. You just gotta wait for it. Let's see if NQ gave us anything here. Nah. I mean, not bad. Not a bad closure. But, again, it is overall bearish. The trend. And we're looking at, oops, I'm going to put that there. The range is definitely smaller. You remember when NQ was bigger than gold? Now NQ is smaller than gold. That's insane. That's 100 ticks. That's 100 ticks right there. And on gold, that's 100 ticks. Yeah, I think we'll let this candle play out. That'll be about an hour after New York Stock Exchange open. And if we get nothing, we get nothing. It's okay. You know, definitely watch up until, I'd watch the market. If you're going to stay up or whatever, watch the market for the next 2 hours. Then don't watch the market an hour after that. And then come back for the next 30 to 45 minutes. And then be done for the day on New York. That's about the time frame you want to look at if you're going to watch it. Yesterday I got something right before that happened at 11:45. And what I do, you don't want to sit here all day, right? So set a 15-minute timer on your phone or a 14-minute timer and just keep renewing it. Right? Every 14 minutes your timer goes off, you come over to your computer, you look at the two markets, you're like, nothing. Go back to whatever you were doing. Set another 14-minute timer. Just do that for the next couple hours. And then you're not locked on the charts. You're not glued to the charts. You can still get stuff done. That's just my suggestion. That's what I do. Better to miss than lose patience. Pays the bill that greed causes with scrapped accounts. That's right. And you know what? I'm going to show you guys, not to show off, but just to show you what patience looks like. This is a brand new master account. Right, everybody's like, you're going to blow your funded. You're going to blow your funded. Well, not if I'm patient and if I'm taking the right trades. So I'm going to show you guys the calendar. If you guys, like I said, I'm not trying to show off. I'm just going to show, and I'll show you one with losses too. But so far, this calendar has been, that's it. You know? And it says 5 trades because that's Asia, and that's closing partials. Those are my trades. Let me hide myself so you can see better. So, closing partials basically is why it looks like 5 trades. But there you go. These are 2 trades that I just waited. I was just patient. How about on Top Step? Top Step started a little rough. I'll go back to last month. Here you go. Big loss. This loss here, this $455 loss, was the first day on this account. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I was like, that's okay. Just slowly worked my way back. And then Monday I had another big loss. What is it? Fridays? Is this Friday or Thursday? Oh, it's Thursday. Okay. Friday I had a big loss here. 2 trades. Like I said, anytime you see where it says 5 trades, I'm not actually taking 5 trades. When I close partials, it counts as a trade, which is really annoying because it makes me look like I overtrade. 5 trades or $500 here. Is it okay? Whatever. Just continuing slowly. Friday, $80. Didn't even trade Thursday. Had nothing to trade. And then yesterday in Asia for November, got some good wins. This was 2 really good setups I just waited for. So the count is up $685. And that's me slowly crawling out of loss, out of drawdown. And for me, that's like neutral. I stayed neutral here. I stayed neutral here. I stayed neutral here, but I was starting to get a little, itchy. Like, this isn't going too well. Stayed neutral, stayed neutral, stayed neutral, stayed neutral, and stayed neutral. And right now I'm still neutral. So, like I said, not trying to show off or anything, just showing the process. Just being transparent. Just being transparent. Calling it, Shibby? Yeah, I think I'll be calling it soon too. Yeah, thanks for coming in, Shibby. I appreciate you very much for being here. Yeah, I don't know what is really going on here when it comes to these charts today. Yeah, I'm not really seeing good structure. We'll see how these candles close and we'll go from there. You bet, Shibby. Anytime, man. Thanks for showing up every day. Appreciate you. All right, let's see. Bring my camera back. There we go. Yeah, give it a shot there, Will, with the timer. It works. And you don't have to set like an alarm every 15 minutes because I've seen people do that before. You just end up setting like 12 alarms. Nah, just set the timer. Just have the timer. Like the kitchen timer. Goes off every 15 minutes. It was that way yesterday too, Will. This is a week that's interesting. This reminds me of a week that I had in August or September where price action was just garbage. And guess what I did? I traded every single chance I could. And it was a bad week. Those losing weeks that you have, it's trading during weeks like this where there's confusion in the market. Someone said that earlier. It just seems confusing. I think Sylvia said it. And yeah, I agree. When the market's confusing, just stay out. You know? And it just, you can feel it. You know, you can just tell. And that's where your psychology and your determination and your why of the whole reason that you're doing this will outshine that. That need to trade, that need to make money is so almost like primal. It's almost like an animal instinct. And if you can get over that and get through that and have a stronger reason, you'll be all right. Like I have my reason. I have my why. Why am I doing this? There's many reasons why, but I'm trying to accomplish a goal. So that goal is overshadowed. It is not overshadowed. Sorry. That goal is not overshadowed by taking mid trades or taking trades with 3 minutes left in a candle. Like right now, I'd be like, oh, I'm taking it. I'm buying it. I've done that before. I'm like, oh, it's going up, I'm buying it. And then I get burned. And then I'm like, damn, why did I lose so much this week? And then you go back and you look at that trade and you journaled it and you're like, well, no wonder I lost. There was 3 minutes left on the candle. You know, come on. So that self-reflection is good. Yeah, absolutely will. There's a book by a famous businessman in the United States. His name is Simon Sinek, Sinek. I'll type his name. If you haven't heard of him, he has got an amazing book called Start With Why. Start With Why. I recommend that book 1,000% over. You can get it in an audiobook. I read it as an audiobook. I just listen to it while I'm driving. Basically, he says, I can teach you how to do something. I can teach you when to do something. I can teach you why to do, or where to do something, but I can't really teach you why to do something. And you have to have a why. You have to have a strong why. And then he talks about businesses like Apple and Microsoft and all that, and the companies that survive, they have a why. And that, if you start with why, you'll likely survive. Anybody who doesn't. I feel like why is stronger than how, where, when, who, all that. Those are just the details. Yeah, absolutely will. And you can apply that to trading very easily. Very easily. If you're just doing this to make money, it's probably not a strong enough why. If you're just doing this because you're bored, that's definitely not a why. But if you're doing this to maybe change somebody else's life, like let's say your mom or your parents or something are really struggling and you want to retire them, your dad works all the time and he's got a really bad back and he needs surgery, but he can't afford it. So you want to get in these charts and you want to pay for his surgery. Like, that's a strong why. And then he can retire and enjoy the rest of his life. That's a strong why. That gets you past the FOMO, gets you past the overtrading, past the taking garbage trades. It really, you can boil it down to that. Yeah, this is not looking like price action I want to participate in. Excellent, Will. Retiring your mom. Yeah. Keep her, maybe put a picture of her next to your charts. Maybe put a picture of her on the wall next to your rules, you know, and have a constant daily reminder of who you're doing this for. Yeah, both parents, absolutely. And you see them every day or whatever, it'll help. My why is right here. Got it next to my desk. I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm going to go into a third world country and help them build their community. I'm going to do it in February. I already signed up for it. I've already been accepted, so I got to make the money now. I got to pay for it. So, I've got a deadline now. So it's forcing me to really do good. Yeah, thanks, Will. Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's the closure there. I think I'm going to call it. Watch off stream, jump in the Discord. If you see something, call it out. But I think that's going to do it for New York. We've been here for 2.5 hours and we've seen nothing. So maybe it just needs more price structure. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who was here. Thanks for coming in. We're going to do it again tomorrow. So come back at 8 o'clock tomorrow and we'll give it a shot. And for those guys that are in the mentorship, we'll do Asia tonight with Perry and the guys. So thank you everybody for being here. Yep, thank you very much. Appreciate you liking the stream. Appreciate you being here. Really enjoyed the conversation. So excellent. I hope you guys have a good day and maybe you'll catch something in New York later today. So awesome. Good hanging out. We'll see you tomorrow.